Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We are talking about the Knight, the newest killer to join the DBD roster, and we're going to discuss whether this killer is weak or strong. And I know what you're thinking, this killer literally came out like 2 days ago, well, yesterday to be in fact, 1 day ago. How we're giving our opinions. Well, I played a crap ton of Knight, and reason being is because this is my dream chapter. As my name being King, I've been waiting for a medieval chapter, and having a Knight killer be fan-made chapter, so I really sunk my teeth into this, and I'm sure there's still more to learn and changes that will come after the PTP, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts and opinions now, and then maybe the devs can use that information to then scale them up or scale them down, depending on what we say. Two quick notes, we are doing a giveaway for this DLC. If you want to enter that, the link will be in the description. The drawing will happen when the DLC is officially out. And the next thing is that we're live on Twitch. Make sure you guys are coming out, showing your support, showing your love. All right, let's jump on into it. So, the burning question, is the Knight good? Is he weak? Is he strong? The answer is mid. The Knight is very mid. They're not in a section where they are on the same level of the Blight or the Nurse, you know, having the ability to just ignore all physics such as the Nurse and, you know, dominate the game, or someone like the Blight or the Spirit that are so hard to counterplay in one-on-one situations. They're not like that whatsoever. But then again, they're not on the side where, you know, you're playing as a Trapper, who was my old main. I am now a Knight main, and there isn't much that you could do. Your power can be countered, etc. They have everything they need in their base kit to be fundamentally a good killer, however they fall short in certain aspects. Let's start off with the power and talk about everything first of all. The Knight at its core is just a standard M1 killer. The only thing that makes them stand out is that you essentially can have two killers running around the field, especially since you don't have to control them, making it a lot easier, very similar to twins, but with this new AI mechanic, it makes it so that you just don't need to even worry about it whatsoever. You can simply use your power, call a guard out, and set a path for them. Now, this does take some time to do so, which is completely fine. I think that's okay in the way it is right now, but the path is a little bit easy to see. Survivors just need to walk away when they see the green arrow coming their way, and by doing so, it's super easy to avoid. After that, there's a big circle on the ground where this guard is walking, and depending on what guard you have, there's 3 different ones in case you didn't know, all with different things. Depending on where it's at and, you know, what location it is, it's super easy to avoid yet again. So because of that, and having that counterplay, it puts them a little bit on the weaker side. Now, it's not to the point where it's like Trapper, where you can just completely ignore their power, because if you be a little bit more scummy, you can set this around someone that's on the hook, set it around specific loops if needed, things like that, and it can work in your favor, and I've had it work in my favor, which opens up the high skill cap gameplay of this. With time, people are going to figure out better strategies and better ways to use this power, and figure out things that are going to be almost unavoidable when using their power because of this. And of course, the ceiling is pretty high. As of now, with the strategies that we currently have and the amount of counterplay people have already found, I think that they're pretty mid-tier. But in due time, once people understand it a little bit more, it can get a little bit better. Now, as I mentioned, there's kind of 2 ways to play as the Knight. You can either be that scummy guy setting up all of the night patrols right next to someone that's on the hook, or dead zoning an area, or making it so that a specific 3-gen is just completely destroyed, which works well in your favor. Or you can just do it the standard way, which is just trying to grab survivors working on gens, and in that case, you're probably going to get dominated. And don't forget that the Knight is just an M1 killer. Sure, you can use your power at a specific loop, but just like someone like the Pig, if you see her crouching, just move away. If you see the Knight using their power, just move away from that location. So at its core, you can loop this killer just like every other killer in the game, and good survivors will have no issues doing so. In my time playing against the Knight, I found it very easy to do so, and even against some of the more experienced Knights that have been playing for like 5-6 hours on the PTP, it was really easy to counter as well. As for the add-ons, they're a little bit lackluster as well. I like that they're unique in the sense that they give you different ranges of your own power, and they open up the gameplay to different types of you know, gameplays. You can have the jailer coming in a few times. You can have the assassin coming in a few times. You know, you can even have these guys you have mangled or sloppy butcher, whatever the case may be. Sloppy butcher, hemorrhage, you know what I mean. So that's kind of nice, but overall, the add-ons that are actually going to help you are quite limited. The ultra rares are good, but I mean, of course they are. They're ultra rares, and the other ones are just a little bit mediocre. The yellow add-ons, in my opinion, are the best ones that you have, and even so, they don't help tremendously, but they still do a nice job. Now, behavior has two routes that they can take with this. They can either leave them as they are, you know, maybe make a few adjustments here and there, and you'll have your basic average killer in the game. It's not going to be someone that is super overpowered. It's not going to be someone that's super weak, but someone that is super duper fun. And they have probably the best Mori in the game as well. So that would be pretty cool. Now, if they wanted to strengthen them a little bit, I think the route that they could go down is quite simple. When you are setting up your path to patrol, having that big green light coming your direction, had that either start off very dull and get brighter as the power is about to finish, or maybe even have it blinking so people can, you know, they might not see it. But if you have a big, you know, glowing light with a trail coming your way, you're going to easily avoid that. So making that a little less intense would be pretty good, and it would make it a lot less avoidable, which is good. Now, the reason why it needs to be less avoidable is because when the patrol actually spawns in, it takes them about 1 to 2 seconds to actually even have that circle to come around them. So it's not that much of a big deal. Now, if you choose to have that glowing green light stay constant and being in your face, sure. But you have to make them spawn immediately then, and having that circle work immediately. So let's just say, hypothetically, you use your power to go to a generator. You see this big green glowing light. Let's say you don't move. It takes 2 seconds for them to spawn in, and when they do spawn in, and you're in the circle, they then go into a ghost swarm, which they then have to come to your location, plant their flag down, and then chase you. All in all, from you using your power to the time where the chase is actually initiated is a whopping like 7 to 10 seconds. It is huge. This is so much time to get away if you're actually trying to get away, and I mean, in the case now where we choose not to, you can easily just go away from the killer, drop a pallet, and you're fine. You don't even need to drop a pallet, just go over a vault or something, and there's not much that they can do. Again, they're AI, so they're pretty easy to beat. Sure, they can get you off guard in certain locations, and the best plays comes when the AI and the killer is cutting you off from one location. At that point, you don't really have much to do, and that's where some of the good potential comes in. Another thing that they should consider changes is the big circle on the ground. If you have this glowing or flashing, it would be so much better. So it goes in and out from being super dull to, you know, being there completely. The reason being is that, again, this is super easy to avoid. If you're just kind of running around and then you see this big circle, you're going to avoid it at all costs. And again, the only way that you would intentionally go into this is if the person is on a hook and you need to get there and the AI is right in front of your face, or if it's an area that you have to pass. If you don't have to pass it, you won't touch it at all. So having that aspect of more stealth would be kind of nice. They can even incorporate this into someone like the assassin, as their name is the assassin. Make it so that their circle isn't there. Make the jailer's circle visible because, you know, they're the jailer. It's a really big circle, so that's fine. You can make that visible. And make the first one, I forgot their name, the crucifix, something like that, I don't know. Make theirs glowing, you know, so that way there's different circles and people will have to really pay attention to what circle is which, and it also gives a nice distinction on which character you're playing against. Obviously, there's a little audio cue to help, but, you know, that would be a nice little touch. And the final change that I could potentially see them doing is making so that you can pick your character. Obviously, we have the add-ons to make it so that certain characters cycle in more, so I don't think they're going to ever do this. But I've seen quite a few people ask for this, and it wouldn't be terrible. Then again, you could just see the jailer over and over and over, or the assassin over and over, and that won't be too fun, so I can understand why they decided to do something like this. All in all, I do like the Knight. I think they're pretty fun. They have the best Mori in the game. They're aesthetically pleasing, although they do need a haircut, and I really am happy with this chapter. I think there's a few adjustments that they could make to make the killer a lot smoother and feel a lot better on both sides, and I'm sure they will once it's out of the PTP. But for those who've been wondering and those who've been asking me, I will put them in the B tier. I think they're very mid, but they have a lot of potential for some high-level skilled gameplay. I've seen other people saying that they're pretty strong. According to some polls I see, everybody puts them in the C or B tier, and I've even seen a couple people putting them below. My personal opinion, I think they're right in the middle, and I think they have a lot of potential to go higher depending on what changes we're going to get and what we're going to see. I'll have a tutorial on how to play them coming up in the future. I'm really excited to play the Knight a little bit more and to have a new main after 6 years, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, we are live on Twitch, so hopefully we'll see you there as well. And we are giving away this DLC. Link is in the description. As always, I'm the king. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the vlog.
Life like a king, gold on my neck, boy, gold on my rings. Crown got the tilt, I ain't worried about a ting here. Flow so new, but I'm acting like I've been here. See, this what I've been doing since the drop. Fire on the arrow when I tell them all to knock. Once I get it going, ain't no way I'm gonna